I was very young, our bishop in Chicago was a very kind man, a good man, a wonderful man. And, but the only thing is that we didn't really know him as a person. He would appear at our parish once a year, clothed in the purple mantilla, and that was kind of a formidable presence, you know. And he would speak to us during the sermon in a language that we didn't understand, in Russian, through an interpreter. He would serve basically in Church Slavonic, and then after that, during the meal that would follow, he would speak again and then disappear to the rectory, and we wouldn't see him for another year. We loved our bishop, but we didn't know him. You know, he was just somehow very unapproachable and kind of transcendent. When I first became a bishop, it was exactly the opposite that I wanted to be. I wanted to be available to all of my people, especially the young people. During the first couple of years, it was difficult because of the fact that it seemed that all the kids in New England were terrified of me because they thought of, you know, that image of a bishop that was simply unapproachable, you know. And that changed after that quite rapidly. And I became their friend. And that's exactly what I want to be, and that's the way I want to remain. A friend to them, a father to them, one that they can talk to about anything. And they do. And that makes my ministry, especially to the young, something that I believe works. It simply works. You know, it's not perfect by any means, but at the same time, it's there and it's real, and we have that relationship which, to me, as a bishop, and simply as a man, is just very, very important. Now, in the 90s, especially, that our young people grow up in a certain environment which has changed greatly, even from, let's say, 25 years ago. Before, respect for the clergy was somehow inherent from the past. And now it really has to be earned. It really has to be earned. Trust has to be earned. It's just not automatic. And our kids now are, you know, they're wonderful. They're wonderful, but we have to kind of win them over in a way, because they're just bombarded by so many forces, whether it's from their peers, whether it's from society at large, talking about rights, talking about freedom, but really, which is kind of apart from a real meaning of freedom, but rather simply licentiousness. Or whether it's by the forces that they see from television, from MTV, all of these things that are very real in their lives. But the church is in competition, is in real competition for the attention of our young people. And the only way that we can convince them that what we are doing, Sunday to Sunday, feast to feast, day to day, is real, is by showing them that there's a real substance which is grounded in love. So many times I've been asked, you know, how does Episcopal ministry work now? And I would say if it works at all, it's because there is love. Very open, very honest expressions of love. And if you can impart that spirit to young people, especially now in our society where there's a 50% divorce rate among marriages, so many of our people come from broken homes that are really victims of this type of thing. If they can feel love within the church, then they're going to be with the church, because this love comes from God, and it's the love of Christ. which is shared by the ministers of the church to the young people, and this they can relate to because they see that it's something that's genuine. It's not just talk. It's not just some kind of pious platitudes, but it's real, and it has to be lived on a day-to-day basis. We in New England are very fortunate because of the fact that we've had a very vibrant youth ministry here. And so many people have been involved in just really showing love to our young people. And they know that, they can see that, and they treasure it, not even as much now as I think they will when they get older, to look back and to see exactly how they were cherished by the church. Something that we did not experience to such an extent back in the 50s or the 60s, and certainly before that even. One thing that I always remind my young people about is the fact that they are important people in the church now. They've been told countless times that they're the future of the church. And I said, well, certainly they're the future, but so am I. So is, a 90-year-old lady, in one of the parishes, the future. Exactly. But they're important now. They're not just some kind of potential, but rather they are important now. And the church loves them now. The church cherishes them now. And the church cares about everything that they care about and empathizes with them and through their difficulties. And of course, they have many difficulties. I think much more so than I did as a teenager in the 60s. Just so much out there, just working against them and trying to distract them from the one thing that is needful. To seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness. And if I, as a bishop, can do anything to help them, then that's what I do. Whether it's riding on the roller coasters at a Rocky Point or putting on roller skates, just to be with them, to make the church part of their good times and the things that they will remember and cherish through their lives.